Hey guys, it's Michael with Tawakoni Guide Service, and in this video here we'll talk a little bit about deep water takedowns and hooking those fish when you're fishing in deep water. You really want to wait until the rod buries up, and when I say bury, you want that rod to go ahead and bend on over. Like right there, that rod's going down. That fish has actually been messing with that rod for 3 or 4 minutes. That rod finally went down, it buried. Notice Teri's keeping the rod in the rod holder as long as she can until she knows for certain that fish is loaded up and that fish is hooked. A lot of times folks will give it 3 or 4 reels in deep water and then they want to raise that rod up and they miss a lot of fish. Keep the rod in the rod holder as long as you can, and you'll hang more fish. Here's an example. We're sitting out in some pretty deep water. We're sitting at about 45 foot of water here. That rod right in front of you here has actually had something messing with it. Notice we're not standing by it. We don't have our hand on the reel, all excited, ready to reel down right now. That fish has got it, and he's actually not cutting away from the boat. He's actually cutting back to the left there. Teri's reeling right there. The fish has got pressure right there. She's going to bring it up out of the rod holder, and she's got that fish on. It's a pretty good fish right there. You always know it's a decent fish when you don't get a lot of head bobbing and the rod tips going up and down. You get steady pressure like that when you raise up on a fish, when that fish is down in 40 plus foot of water. You got you a good one on. And she's going to do a good job here working in between the fishing lines here, trying to keep that fish out of the other lines. I've seen fish go around a boat 2 or 3 times, and folks still keep them out of the lines. So you can do it. You just have to work a little bit at it. Be patient with the fish. Don't horse the fish in. You let that rod work on that fish, just like she's doing there. Notice she's tightening the lines with the other rods, keeping that fish out of that line. And right there, it's touching that line, and she's going to bring him over the other side. It actually ends up getting out of that line there. But she's doing a really good job here keeping this fish coming to the boat. I think this fish ends up going about 35 pounds or so. Going back to the original takedown of this fish right here, a lot of people will miss fish like this in deep water, and we've done it before in the past. When that line starts to move or it starts to get tight, an angler will get right next to that rod, get their hand on the rod, almost just sit there and just wait for that rod to go down a little bit. And what I would say is stay away from the rod, stay 2 or 3 foot away from it until it buries up, that rod tip gets close to the water. Now we're talking about fishing deep water here, and don't touch that rod until it buries up and goes all the way down. So it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, sit there and watch that rod tip go down, and this may take 30 seconds and it may materialize over 3 minutes. Depends on how that fish gets that bait and how he runs away from the boat. I think a lot of times the bigger fish, they get the bait in the mouth. I think they sit there for sometimes 10-15 seconds, and then they slowly swim off. And they may not swim directly away from the boat, which would create a big takedown. They may swim either at the boat or angle back towards one side or at the other of the boat, which may take anywhere from 15 to 20, maybe even 45 seconds before you start really realizing you've got a fish on and that he's going to go ahead and take that rod down. Just be patient. Most of the time you're not going to miss that fish. You're using a circle hook. That circle hook's doing its job. Just let that rod bury up. Be patient, and you're going to catch more fish that way. Along with deep water fishing, this fish right here required to be burped. Check back in our videos. We're going to show you how to burp a fish correctly.